Hi everyone and welcome back to Amplify. We have new episodes coming up, but before we dig into those episodes and to the interviews with the guests, just wanted to quickly say that I hope you guys are doing okay no matter where you are, and if you feel like it's not okay, don't forget to appreciate yourself, don't forget to take a break from stuff, to talk to somebody if you feel that it's needed, even if you feel it's not needed. So now back to Amplify. You probably listened to the episode that I had a couple of months back with Stuart from The Noisy Brain. He amplified somebody, a band. They are so freaking full of energy, and so I don't even know where to start. But okay, let's first have a look at previously on Amplify.
They're a creative duo. Then the band name is Collars. What I like about them, and it's really like a shout out to everybody that's like we was talking about before, is their passion and their enthusiasm of what they want to do. I just love their energy and their vibrancy. They produce their records themselves.
I'm incredibly thankful to Stu for amplifying our today's guest. Even after talking to them, I felt like I was energized, and they are very, very cool, very honest, very appreciative. They are from Cambridgeshire. It's a very difficult word to pronounce. Cambridgeshire. Anyway, today I'd like you to meet Colors.
I know about you from Stu from the Noisy Brain project, and
Yes.
because I had him on my podcast called Amplify, and when I asked him who he wants to amplify, he said about you guys. So I was very excited to talk to you. I follow you on Instagram. I see all the crazy things you do, the crazy energy that you bring to other people's life. I've seen that you have won an award recently, so congratulations for everything. But let's start with the fact, what's your relationship with the Noisy Brain and Stu?
Yeah, well, it's funny because I was trying to think of this and I can't remember how we met now. Did he approach us?
Yeah. So through lockdown, we were doing a lot of live streams, obviously, to just try and get out there. And I think he saw us doing something, and he contacted us. And initially, he wanted he's getting artists on board to take writing from people who've had health issues, poems, lyrics, things like that, and getting musicians on board to write songs with them. We considered it, but it wasn't really the way we write. Dan writes all the lyrics, and they're very personal to her, so it wasn't quite what we felt like we couldn't do it justice, basically. So we did actually record. So what we did was we said we would record a short video for him. And it was basically like a bit like a songwriting tutorial. We filmed Dan coming to me with a lyric idea that I'd never heard before.
And I went away and wrote it in that moment.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah. So Dan went off and wrote a little
melody.
short melody, and I talked a little bit about mental health stuff. And then she came back and we tried to write it on the spot. I don't think he ever released it, so it couldn't have been that good.
Decided to get to the part about your creative process, but let's start with, where are you located currently? Where are you based?
At the moment, right now, we are speaking to you from Cambridgeshire in the UK, because I'm guessing you have listeners worldwide. Sorry, the dog's making noise. Yes, and originally, like, we met in London, but originally I am kind of from this area. I was born in Essex, but lived in this area when I was a teenager, and came here from Jersey.
I'm from Jersey originally.
Ireland boy here. But yeah, we met in London, and then we sort of decided to move out here because we can like practice in the house here and stuff like that. So it's convenient.
And how long you've been playing in the same band?
So I had a few incarnations previously, just sort of messing around with songwriting. That was it, really. But shortly after it became Collars, we did about 6 months of open mic nights just around the area. And then we had a couple of gigs before lockdown hit. So we're looking at sort of 2019, that kind of thing for when we started and writing and going off and trying to do some open mics. So yeah, around about that time.
Did you have some creativity during lockdown, like really push of creativity, or was it more like chill?
No, I think no, we were working really hard because we made 3 music videos. We made 4. We made 4 videos in lockdown, didn't we? We made 4 music videos.
Time has just stopped. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, it feels weird. Like in the various stages, basically, of the 3 different lockdowns here in the UK, we made 4 different music videos. We made our EP and had that like printed, pressed on vinyl, and we just released that in July. So we did live streams, and we've been really busy.
We always say, like, we get asked this question a lot, and we always say it's like both a blessing and a curse, because on the one hand, it made us like, we lost a load of gigs and we stopped, and we reworked a load of material, got rid of a load of songs, wrote a load of new ones, and got much better. So when we're out and about, we're actually presenting something that's a hell of a lot more well-rounded. But then at the same time, you can't practice playing in front of people. You just can't do it. You have to be out there. So on that side of things, we're playing catch up now. We're just gigging as much as we possibly can.
When did Colors start?
Around about 2019, about that time. Yeah, we really started to push the sort of songwriting in that vein at that point. And then I suppose it was about the middle of that year where we started to do open mics, middle to later that year.
And then, have you ever heard from anyone that when you sing, your voice is like Ellis Merton?
And I ain't going back no matter what I'm told, like you said. Our numbers came up on the track, and there's no going back no matter what I say. I like digging holes and hiding things inside them. When I grow old, I hope I won't forget to find them.
I've got no roots, and on the ground, I got no roots.
I don't think I know that song, but I'm gonna have to look that up now. No, I've not heard that before, but it sounds like a good song, so I'm down.
I think it's 1 hour. I was having it in my head, and at the end I was like, oh yeah, it's like that one. It's voice, and it's very interesting to hear those kind of moments in your voice. Tell me please about the BBC session. Did it happen before lockdown or after?
Well, lockdown had finished because we filmed it in a bowling alley, our local bowling alley. So it must have, and they were open because we had to go in and film it really early before the bowling alley opened, and it opened at 10. So we were in there like, at 7, and had to set up, record, take down all by 10, and people were coming through the door at 10. It was crazy. But that came about because Tim Hunter, who is a presenter on BBC Introducing in the Channel Islands, loves us, and he's so awesome, and he's like been backing us for a really long time now. And he asked us if we do it, basically. And like I was saying, he came from Jersey, which is in the Channel Islands, so that's sort of our connection. Like, we reached out to him, and luckily
he seems to be into it, so.
The decision to film it in a bowling alley, was it yours, or was it someone like directed the video for you, or who knows?
No,
we set up a camera and filmed it.
Oh.
Basically, because we're always trying to think of how do we set the bar a bit higher, and we had done so many sort of videos in lockdown, and just it just really was, there's loads of videos of us playing in there, and it's just a place we go. We don't have many places to go around here because it's quite rural, and it's one of the only places that we go to quite a lot. So we thought we'd ask them. It was one of those things again where we thought they'd say no, and they ended up saying yes. So we went for it.
I'm not sure I've seen a lot of like videos like that made in the bowling alley. So when I switched it on, I was like, okay, that's interesting. What about the video which is just behind me?
Oh, that one. So that's the first one we made, and yeah, we made that in lockdown number 1. We basically just cleared out one of our rooms and made it in there. But that was our first foray into.
Yeah, and we had these really old projectors. We had an old projector that we ended up blowing up really quickly, and then so we bought another one and waited for that to come, and then we've destroyed that one pretty quick as well.
Yeah.
So the final, the close-up shots of like the slides, that's the old projector. Luckily we got that before it went, but the long shot is like a digital one.
Yeah, because we ended up having to buy a modern projector to finish.
What's next for you for 2022? This question is pretty, I was always asking what about 2021, and then I realized we're at the end of 2021.
Yeah.
Okay, what about 2022 now?
It's a big question, that, because I guess we will be working on an album, maybe.
Yeah, so like I said before, gigging is priority at the moment. We're booking as many gigs as we possibly can up and down the country. Anyone that'll have us, and I mean we're doing it at the moment, and it's so vital to us becoming a better band and developing. Every time we play a show, we learn something new. So whether it's tweaking the sound, or whether it's just a moment where we can interact, or it's a way of dealing with bad sound on stage, whatever it is. And I think it's really important to remember that as musicians we exist only live and on record. You can argue social media, fine, whatever. I'm old school. Record and live, and there's so many people who build their music on a computer, and that's where it starts, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's lots of sonic nuances that you're going to get from those sorts of things that you won't get anywhere else. But what it does mean is then they're struggling to then reverse it and figure out how to do it live. Our thing starts from the guitar and the vocal, and we build it from that moment forward, because being a live band is such a big thing for us. So we're getting better all the time. We're definitely tweaking. It's definitely getting bigger too, a bigger sound. I think for quite a while, because we started with the acoustic, we've been scared to sort of crank it. Now everything's sort of becoming much more lively, much more noisy. But yeah, and we'll be doing that and writing the album. We'll start working on a new album soon.
Yeah, but in the more near future, we have got a new single coming out in October, which is Jeremiah, which is it is on the EP, and that's out. That'll be the last single from the EP that we release.
And funny enough, it has a similar story to the bowling alley. There's a local cinema here, and the video director who we worked with on the Lizzie video, he mentioned in passing when we were working together about possibly doing a video where it looks like I'm playing with a projection of Dan, and Dan is playing with a projection of me. And then when we were in the cinema, I was like, oh, wouldn't it be great if we could do it like in front of the screen? And so we asked again, thinking they would just say no, and they said yes again. So it's in the cinema. It's filmed in the cinema.
Are you a two-piece band in general, or you have management?
No, it's all us.
No, it's just us. Like everything is us, which is really knackering.
Well, we got day jobs as well, so it is very tiring.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys have your hobby, which is probably the dream of your life, and you enjoy doing it. Fantastic, you do a fantastic job, but you also have a day job.
We both do, yeah.
Can we talk about what do you do during days then?
yeah, if you want. I'm a journalist, so that's what I do in the day, and I've been working from home for ages, so like before the pandemic. Yeah.
But you studied to be a journalist as well, didn't you?
Yeah.
So sort of doing what.
I'm a journalist. Yeah.
And I study music, and I don't do it for a day job. I work in research for the NHS.
Okay.
It's just something I fell into, really. It's not something I pursued.
But you're good at it.
Some people might say different. I try.
Let's leave it on the note that you're good at it. And
Yeah.
But you know what? This is incredible, really. I am so amazed by people who tell me that they have a dream, they do so many things, and on top of it, they also have a day job, because that just shows me that you can do it. And you should not postpone doing things that you love doing just because you have a day job.
Yeah, I think as well you would regret it, and it's better to, even though it's hard work.
Yeah.
I feel better knowing that we're at least trying everything we can. Like, we're trying our best, and that's all you can do.
Do you guys live together?
Yes.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How was COVID for you two?
Well, it was good, really. Like, good that we lived together. Yeah, because it just meant we could crack on. We could keep rehearsing. Like I said, we live in the middle of nowhere, so we can rehearse at our house. Yeah, and it just meant that we could keep on working.
Yeah, it must be super difficult for bands where you got like 4 or 5 members and they're all trying to meet up and they're not allowed and all the rest of this. It must be really tough. And now the things are opening, they're like desperately trying to rehearse that again. So no, we were really lucky in that sense. And actually, Dan, like she said, she's worked from home for a long time. That was no change. And then working at the NHS, I was needed.
So we didn't even have any furlough or anything like that.
Yeah, we're lucky. We were very lucky. Yeah.
Can you tell me a bit about your EP, which is called Everything Present?
Yep, one.
Yeah. Why one?
Well, we had this plan that there may be more, and so that is why it's called number 1. I mean, the thing is, it leaves it open for there being more. We just don't have to make that decision right now, which is good. But yeah, that's where the 1 comes from. The EP, I mean, I guess what do you want to know about it?
Inspiration.
Or quite.
Will come from. How was it born?
Well, I suppose there are songs on there that we wrote over a period of time, and we sort of whittled it down and picked.
I think both of us are album people. We love albums. We love sticking them on from start to finish. It's a big thing for us. I know it's not for everybody now, and there's something to be said for having mixtapes and playlists, and definitely I'm not against it at all. But we love albums. But I think there's such an oversaturation of music that you have to question, especially as a new band, whether an album is really what people want to hear, and if it's going to be beneficial to you and your audience to find you. So I think we made a decision quite quickly that it was going to be an EP, not an album. And then we just kept putting our best foot forward. So we just kept selecting the best of the best songs that we had. Obviously, we wanted them to feel like a group of songs, but I think the place we were at and the songs that we loved felt like a collection anyway. So
yeah, and obviously the way we've arranged it, I mean, we feel has a good flow to it. Hopefully other people think that too. And because it's out on vinyl, that was quite a big consideration with like the 2 sides. Obviously, if you're listening digitally, it's not going to have the same effect. But what we wanted it to be, especially, was you flip it over and it's almost like it jumps in again. Yeah.
And then again, harking back to the love of an album.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a toss up. It's always a compromise between what you really want and what you should be doing.
Do you have a record player at home? Do you listen to vinyls?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We have a lot.
Oh, that's nice. And I also have mine. I love it. I like to put some jazz though.
Nice. Cool.
Yeah.
The last thing we bought was the Beyonce live album.
Oh wow, that's interesting. I wouldn't think that you are into that kind of music because of
Yeah,
that.
well, I think like I mean our music taste is really varied anyway. But yeah, we love Beyonce because I mean, how can you not? She puts so much effort and into her music, her appearance, her show, the theme of each release, like everything, and that's how we sort of approach music too. And I'm not saying we're anywhere near Beyonce level, but you know, but I think it's important to think about your, you know, we're a brand essentially. That's what we're selling. We're not just selling music. And as much as I would love to be, it just isn't like that anymore in the industry. You've got to be everything. You've got to look good, sound good, perform good.
Definitely, and she embodies all of that.
Yeah.
But I mean, the thing is, isn't it, really, that I think there used to be a time where, I mean, obviously there's still the sort of tribal nature of music. You've got like your metalheads and your punks and the rest of it. But I think not so much as it used to be. I think people have sort of come around to the idea that great music is great music. It can be a Justin Bieber dance track, or it can be, you know, a B-side of a Led Zeppelin record. Well, you know, there's the good song is a good song. And as artists, I think whatever you do, whether you're a painter or you're a poet, you've got to have a broad taste to draw from for your own material, don't you? That's kind of.
I agree 100%.
Yeah.
Was there ever a time or a moment when you wanted to stop doing colors?
Oh, all the time. It's yeah, like we were saying, because we have day jobs, it is obviously like working two jobs basically, and especially when you do all the social stuff and the emailing people, and then you go out and play the gigs, and then you get up the next morning, and yeah, it's really tiring. So it's a constant seesaw of I hate this, I love this, I hate this, I love this.
I think it's exaggerated as well, because there's a massive it takes so much work, and it's so multifaceted, and there's so many layers. I mean, even if you take something as simple as like recording a song, there's so much that goes into doing that from start to finish and getting it. You could draw a spider diagram and it go on for months. You know, there's so much of that. And then on the flip side of it, there is so much music. People are, you know, maybe interested, but it's a passing thing, you know. So you've got to keep grounding yourself and this is what I want to do. Let's keep moving forward. You know, it's a difficult thing to balance for sure. You just got to love it, I guess. You just got to love what you're doing, isn't it? It's the only way to keep moving forward.
Yeah, even because I liked what you said about, you know, people listening to a lot of music there right now. So I always think about when you switch on a song on Spotify playlist or wherever it is, you listen to the first 10 seconds, and if you don't like it, you just
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So almost every song now already starts with something big, like listen to Physical Dua Lipa or listen to other Justin Bieber songs. It already starts immediately. There is no time for intro, time, you know, just a chord and imagining what's going to be the next step about.
Yeah.
No, you literally immediately cut to the chase, you know?
Yeah. There's no 10-minute Pink Floyd.
Yeah,
intro
prog rock wouldn't survive these days. One second, carry on.
I was recently listening to Pink Floyd's song. I don't remember which song was it, and then I realized that I was cleaning or something like that, and it was on the radio, and then I realized, gosh, this song is so long. My boyfriend was telling me, well, yeah, that's how they did music before. And I'm like, oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, you know, like you're talking to Zeppelin, there were like 30-minute drum solos. Can you imagine trying to get away with a 30-minute drum solo these days?
Crazy.
After a minute and a half, you'd be booed off.
Yeah. You know what, Rick, about colors, just one more question. Was there ever a moment which uplifted you, that you understood that, well, yes, now we are there. Now we feel the energy. Now we feel the changes. Now Now we
Yeah.
see that you're listening to it, and you kind of, it's not really a validation, but just felt that energy not only spending but also coming back to you.
As usual, in the second part of the episode, we talk more about mental health, about advices to others, about skills. Put yourself a reminder to be notified when the next episode comes out. And in the meantime, let's enjoy some music from Colors.
When I see that glint in somebody's eye, or the way they have their hair, sometimes it's in a posture, but oh, you sure are there. This feeling won't ever leave me, never has, never will, even though I'm grown. My body and soul, my heart beats still, my heart beats still. From time to time, along imaginary lines, my heart beats still. Do you know what I mean when it strikes hard? A memory flash from thin air, long before you know it, but oh, you sure are there. Did we ever really let go? Maybe you did, maybe I need to move on and grow. My body and soul, my heart beats still, my heart beats still. From time to time, along imaginary lines, my heart beats still. There's times when I forget just how broad you are. There's times when I forget just how broad you are. There's times when I forget just how broad you are. My heart beats, heart beats, my heart beats, heart beats, my heart beats, heart beats, my heart beats still, my heart beats still. From time to time, along imaginary lines, my heart beats still. My heart beats still, my heart beats still. From time to time, along imaginary lines, my heart beats still.
Hi everyone, and welcome back to welcome back. Welcome back. Hi everyone, and welcome back to what? We are back with two new back with new episodes. But before we get to